This episode of Says Who is brought to you by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday, including this one, provided that I remember to edit the episode, you get a whole nother episode of this. You get me and Maureen doing a little thing we call the Town Watch, which is like basically this, but a half an hour and much looser. And that's if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level. That $10 a month level also gets you a sticker in the mail every month that you give it that level, because you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. It's a great club. All of that's available to you at patreon.com/sayswho.
Hey-o!
Oh, my word.
It's Maureen. Death at Morning House is out now. And are you in Tempe, Arizona? I'll be there this Friday at Changing Hands Bookstore at 7 p.m. Are you in Denver or the Boulder region? Guess what? I'll be at the Boulder Bookstore on Saturday, this Saturday, the 17th at 4 p.m. Are you in the Chicago area like Dan usually is, except for now? Great. I'll be there Monday, the 19th at Anderson's Bookstore, Naperville at 7 p.m.
Ironically,
Awesome.
I'm in the Boulder area right now, but we leave before Saturday.
Are you in the UK? Guess what? The week after that, I will be in Edinburgh at the Book Festival on Sunday, the 25th.
Sounds good.
5th?
Let's go with
5th.
it.
I'll be in at the Waterstones Kensington High Street in London on the 27th with Juno Dawson. On the 28th, I'll be at Mr. B's in Bath. On the 29th, I'll be at Waterstone Southampton. These are all things that are happening. Chick chicka boom boom. And we're rescheduling St. Louis and Lexington, Kentucky.
Well,
I'm so tired. Do you know how
that
much
was
energy?
so professional.
Yeah, I know. It took everything I
Delivered
had.
really well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you blew all your energy the first 2 minutes in.
I'm watching your dog in the background sleeping on the hotel bed, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I'm just sort of.
Well, if you would like to order Maureen's books off of the internet, you can always consider our little bookshop, which is located at kickbezosintheballs.org. You can get it there. It's right there when you pull it up. There it is. It's beautiful cover waiting for you. Right there at kickbezosintheballs.org. And if you're buying things on the internet, go ahead and mosey on over to merch.sayswhopodcast.com, where we have Says Who merchandise, or to shop.dansinker.com, where I sell some patches. And you know what? While you're on the internet, I'm going to remind you to subscribe to the forthcoming podcast, Rebel Spirit, from Akilah Hughes and myself. It is so good. September 3rd, it starts dropping. Get in while the getting's good. I broke my brain working on it yesterday, and I have not recovered. So enjoy it. It's coming soon. Rebel Spirit. It's available everywhere. You'll know you found it when you see a little biscuit with googly eyes staring at you. That's the cover art. Anyway, that's the stuff here at the beginning of the episode.
Woo!
Ooh.
Energy, Dan. Come on, let's do it. Do this with your arm.
Low energy. You're the one that was like, I just used it all. Don't. Maureen's moving her arm. She's gonna tire out. Don't do that.
Go,
Maureen.
Go.
No, you're gonna tire. See.
I've been getting up at normal times now, so I'm not sleeping the 10 hours or whatever.
Okay.
But that means that around this time in the afternoon, and I work all morning, like I do a full normal day, and then around about a half hour ago, I was like, oh boy.
Well, we'll get into it.
I could do a hard nap now for about. Oh.
It's all right. So I'm also tired.
Little post-COVID sleepies where every afternoon I could just use a little nappy pants.
I mean, that's me anytime.
Yeah, but you can nap for 5 minutes.
I know. I napped for 12 minutes right before we recorded.
It's just never happened to me.
But now I like kind of everything settled in my head, and now I'm like, I'm there.
The other day I got tired 2 days ago, and I was like, I just need to rest for maybe an hour and a half. And just today I folded the office bed back up into a sofa.
Okay.
But it still was the bed, and I climbed into it, and I was like, I have no brain, but I just need to have the TV on and watch something.
Okay.
That I don't really have to engage in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, there's so much television. What am I going to watch? Obviously, Jaws 2.
Yeah, perfect. That's a good restful
It's just
Nice
about
little
a
sleepy deep peepers type show.
it's about a fish having a great summer
Yeah, it's true. Best summer ever.
until he meets a lunatic who feeds him a cable. Not a lot happens in Jaws 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't really remember the intricacies of the Jaws franchise.
Jaws 1 is like people making mistakes.
Yeah.
It's like there's a Shork, and then everyone's like, there's
Shork?
a Shork.
There's a Shork.
That's what I call it. I call it a Shork. I said, oh no, there's a Shork. And they're like, there's no Shork. And everyone's like, but there is a Shork. And they're like, just act like there's no Shork. The beaches will be open by summer, but there is a Shork. And then it eats the boat. And I can't remember if it eats Richard Dreyfuss or not. And that's that one.
I don't think Dreyfuss dies in Jaws.
Okay. I thought he did, but maybe he doesn't.
I don't know.
Then they're like, we need to make more Shork. So the whole plot of Jaws 2 is it's like same thing. They're like, here we are at the beach of Anony. The beaches are open. The smarmy mayor is always like, beaches, no Shork. No one mentioned the Shork. And then the guy, like the paranoid guy, is like, there's a shark. I know there's going to be a shark. And he just is like, there's a shark. And there is a shark. And then these teenagers want to go sailing. And he's like, don't go sailing. And they go sailing and a shark attacks them. But then he avenges. Like, that's it. These kids are like, we just really want to go sailing. And it just seems to be a movie about how in the 70s, nobody was ever doing anything but having a good time under like the banner of something that looked like a sunbeam. Like these kids are just hanging out. He's like, you should get a job. He's like, I can't get a job, Dad. I'm busy sailing and having a good time with my friends. They just hang out and cut off denims and sail around and have a nice time.
Sounds great.
Except then the shark is like, I'm so mad.
Okay.
So the shark is just trying to have a snack, though. Team Shork. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I am Shork. He's just like a nice shark. I don't know why they got to get all, but that's it. That's the whole plot. The guy's like, there's a shark. People are like, no shark. But then there's Shork.
Okay.
It's 3 moves.
All right.
I say there's a shark. You deny there's a shark, but there is a shark.
Okay.
And I think the thing that we learn about this, Dan, other than the fact that I'm tired, is that we need to believe in the people that tell us there's a shark.
Yeah. That's really the basic.
Shark. You know what I mean? Like people like COVID and they're like, there's no COVID. The beaches will be open by some. But then someone was like, shark. And then I got COVID and now everything's perfect.
Okay.
I'm very sleepy.
I appreciate that we're 8 minutes into this episode.
This is the opening.
Okay.
Shark! By the way, I like the hotel you're holding. I like the microphone you're holding.
Thanks.
I need something, Dad. I need a little lavalier. Like, you know how people now hold those little tiny microphones? Like, I need one of those.
Why?
Because I always try to record stuff, and I have the one you gave me that plugs into the base of the phone.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's too far and it's not clear enough. So I'm probably going to get one of those like little lavalier ones.
Okay.
So at some point.
Dan,
welcome to... we have to
welcome to Says Who.
More energy.
The podcast that isn't a podcast.
There it is. It's a coping strategy. I'm your old pal, Maureen Johnson.
And I'm Dan Sinker.
Whoop, 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 whoop. But Dan,
the air conditioning just turned on right next to me.
You see what I'm preparing for? I'm going to show you some documents. Maureen is...
You're a very small window on my screen. So if I'm supposed to see or recognize those documents, it's
no. I'll tell you what they are. You just see I'm holding up papers. Paper 1.
Yeah.
Which is written in like 1.5 type. Is my schedule for tomorrow for a media tour that starts at 8 in the morning and ends at 4:45 in the evening.
Oh, that sounds just delightful.
Where you sit on the phone and a producer cycles you through to different radio stations and podcasts. Okay. And they'll be like, now you're going to go to the Morning Buzz in Wichita. And now you're going to the something in LA. And now, so this is all day tomorrow.
Well, that sounds great.
Then this these pages are the rescheduled tour dates for the weekend. Tempe,
Yep.
Boulder, Arizona.
Yep.
And as I showed you, I'll be staying with my agent and friend Kate in Colorado, and she has a new puppy, a little tiny Jack Russell baby, and he's got 2 hearts in his fur, so they named him the Doctor.
Oh, because Doctor Who has 2 hearts. I didn't. Maureen showed me a picture of this dog earlier, who is absolutely ridiculously
He's
adorable.
like the size of a pocket.
But
So
I did not connect honestly, if we're being honest, Maureen, I couldn't see the hearts in the fur.
They are pretty clear though. I can attest. They are. This is my England schedule, which
I need to apologize to the listeners for the buzz that is happening behind me. I'm sitting literally right next to the window air conditioning in this hotel.
He has taken Dan, where he goes, the bees go. And Dan and his suitcase full of bees.
I should have turned it off before I started recording, but I didn't. So now you're stuck with it. All right, Maureen is still going through papers.
Oh, yeah. This is my English tour, which my amazing publicist Nita walked me through every single bit of today, like right down to like where the hotels are and how, like, she'll be with me to help me. And then that's the one where I don't get left for dead, which is great. But now we're going to get to the best piece of paper at all.
Okay.
It's a gift certificate to Superiority Burger from Dan Sinker.
That was from me when you got sick.
And Janice.
It's true.
And a little dude. And let me tell you.
It was Janice's idea because she's very good at remembering things. Like somebody's sick, we should give them a gift.
Well, I kept trying to send you photos and it kept failing but the thank you for lunch the other day. It was the greatest of all possible lunches.
Yay.
So, including, it's not going to sound that good, but they have this beet salad. So it's like pickled beets, but it's also fried pretzel pieces with a cream cheese.
Wow.
Like, it's so good. It's nuts. It is genuinely crazy how
they're
good it is.
fried pretzel pieces in
on
the
top.
salad?
So it's like
what does a
cheese.
Fried pretzel piece mean?
It's just crunchy pretzel bits.
Okay.
It's just more crunchy than normal. They're basically like just really crunchy pretzel pieces broken up on top.
That sounds great.
With dill and a little, apparently there's jalapeno in there somewhere, but I couldn't really taste it.
You couldn't find it.
Oh, it's so good.
I, Maureen Johnson, am in a hotel room, though if you look closely.
It's got a lot of U-Haul boxes.
Yes. So we are beginning the journey of taking the teen out to college. And here was a tactical error that we made early on. As parents, it would very much like him to never leave.
Mm.
We were like, oh, we're driving out. And he was like, cool. If we're driving out, I'm going to bring like half of my room with me. We should have just flown. And then he couldn't have brought shit, Maureen. But instead, we now have a car very, very full of stuff, which means that each time we stop, we have to unload the car full of stuff into the hotel room so that we continue to have that stuff as we make our way across the country. So our hotel room looks legitimately insane.
Let's see the rest of it. Well, I see some boxes.
Yeah.
Is everybody in there? You have 2 rooms or 1 room?
Oh, it is just 1 room. 1 room, 2 beds, 4 people. I have been working every day. We've been here in Boulder. We're in Boulder for like 3 days only. But I'm trying to kind of JPEG compress my work into 3 days so that I can actually take a little bit of time off, which is not my forte, right? And it has been nuts. Like just trying to do it all while there are literally just like people 2 feet from you. It has been absolutely bananas. And as a result, I have woken up at about 3 a.m. every day with just like full adrenaline anxiety rush. And then we'll be up until about 5 something and then sort of fall asleep again, but not well. And then eventually kind of force myself up because I have to start my work day. It has been bonkers. But the good news is is that I am reaching the end of the things that have to happen. And so I will, I think, successfully be able to take a little bit of time off.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Great.
We depart tomorrow. We head out to Utah, where it should be many hundreds of degrees. And then we on Friday we have a drive that involves driving from the corner of Utah to Los Angeles proper, which is like 6.5 hours. But then we are stopping at the teens' storage space and unloading our car into the storage space. And then we are driving up the coast to Pismo Beach, where we are going to have a weekend at the beach, which is going to be great. But that day, it might kill us. Driving.
That's a lot.
It's going to be a lot. Like, by pure numbers, it's like, 9 or 10 hours of combined driving. But we are driving through Los Angeles on a Friday. So who knows how long it will actually
Sounds
take.
fun.
And so I'm a little bit worried because my big fear is that we are going to be we have one full day at the ocean, right? That's Saturday. And I'm a little worried that we are going to burn ourselves out on the Friday and be so tired that we won't really enjoy it. But all we really wanted to do was kind of sit and stare at the ocean. So I think you don't have to be super awake for that, right?
Oh, no, you definitely don't.
Yeah. So yeah. And then we will turn around that Sunday a little later in the day and drive back to Los Angeles, where we will be for a few days. And then we will say goodbye to the teen, and that will be terrible. And then we will drive back home. But yeah, that's...
And then we slide into a relaxing fall.
Yeah, chill fall. I mean, honestly, compared to what has been... We all realized, like, basically, like, from... Like, for the last month, we have just been in pure chaos mode. Like, nobody has been anywhere for any amount of time. Like, it has just been absolutely bananas. So, in some ways, this fall will feel much calmer than what this summer has turned into for us. That said, you've got a whole election situation. So there's that. But in some ways, I think that will be better. But mostly I'm excited because this fall means that Rebel Spirit comes out. And I am absolutely bouncing off the walls for this thing to come out.
I am so proud of you.
Last night I was working on sort of a rearranging of the 5th episode. And we have the first 4 episodes fully locked. And then we also have like the 6th and 7th episode fully locked. But the 5th episode has been sort of this thing that I have not been happy with repeatedly. And so last night, after doing some additional work for it last night I was sitting down and kind of doing a reimagining of how it should work. And it broke my head. Like, I couldn't function afterwards because I spent it was like 4 hours. The thing about the work that I'm doing with this podcast is it is so intensely head work, where I am sort of disassembling and then reassembling a puzzle. Like, all of the parts are there, but I'm putting it back together in a totally different way. And that is really hard to do. And it's very abstract because you're listening to things and then you're saying, well, what if this was here? And what if it was... Anyway, by the time I finished, I was like, I was essentially just walking into walls. And, but in the light of day, I am very thrilled now with where that episode has landed. So I'm so excited for this.
It's happening.
To come out. It's really soon now. Like, it is really, really soon now. We've been at it for over a year.
That's amazing.
It is. I am thrilled. Everyone subscribe. It is
already done.
It is so good. I am so excited. I think there's going to be a new trailer coming out next week. Just to really build that hype. Maybe it's not next week. Maybe it's the week after. I don't even know what day it is anymore, Maureen.
Is there a publicity for it all geared up? Is there?
Yeah, there is. Thankfully, I'm not the guy driving that one.
That's great.
I know. It is great that I'm not the guy driving that one.
I know. Yeah,
I'm
I trust
excited
you
about that. I'm not good at publicity. I'm just like, oh yeah, I did a thing. I probably should have told people.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, Dan, is having to
I'm
tell
not good
people.
at that part. I'm good at the doing, not the telling.
Yeah. That's the thing about making stuff that they don't really tell you is that then you have to go out and in all different media and forms. So it feels like, by the way, Dan is drinking a frozen Gatorade that sounds like rocks.
Yeah. So in this hotel room, we kind of rolled in and had a bunch of drinks and put them in the fridge. And then I was like, well, the fridge doesn't feel very cold, so I'm going to turn it to its max cold. And then yesterday, Janice was like, I can't open this Gatorade bottle. And then she handed it to me, and it was just like a rock. It was as frozen as anything could be frozen. And then I looked, and there was like a Sprite can in the fridge that was like 1 second away from fully exploding. And so I turned the temperature of the fridge back down. And so now we have nice cold drinks, but it turns out they all have ice cores still inside them.
Hey, that's good.
I know. It was a very cold Gatorade.
But Dan, you're talking about cold Gatorade.
I am.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The temperature in the election is turning way up.
That was good.
Yeah. That's all I've got, though.
Hey, you know what, Maureen? That was enough.
That was enough.
That was enough. You're enough, Maureen.
But you know what, Dan? You know what else is enough?
What?
It turns out about 3 months of campaigning.
You don't even need 3 months, really. 3 weeks will do it, apparently.
Yeah.
I feel like we've learned a lot about the electoral system in the last 3 weeks. That we don't need this 2-year shit or 4-year shit, or however you want to start your measure.
But Dan, not everything is new. As I'm thrilled to announce, thrilled to let you know personally.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump is back on Twitter.
Yeah, although I read that he was back on Twitter yesterday.
Yes.
He has not tweeted today.
No. So he did a live tweet of fest. I refuse to call it spaces or whatever it is they want. I'm just going to look right now to see if that has changed. Has he come? There he is, real Donald J. Trump. Oh, wait. He has tweeted today.
Okay.
But he's put up a graphic of the space he did last night with Elon Musk. Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk with a big graphic, like a big shiny graphic live on X, and they put the audio up. A couple things happened in that. One is that the whole thing crashed
immediately,
which Elon Musk attributed, the guy who runs the site attributed to a DDoS
attack.
Yeah.
Which, as everyone pointed out, it would be the first DDoS attack. That is a distributed denial of service attack, which is basically you flood a server with requests, right? It would be the first DDoS attack that only took down one thing and not
the whole site.
Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
Just one space in one. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's not how it works. Within seconds of him saying that, there were the last 6 Twitter employees were leaking out to The Verge and things like that, being like, no, that's bullshit. Also, it doesn't take much to remember back to when he did one of these with Ron DeSantis, which I was thinking about Ron DeSantis the other day.
Why?
Well, here's why. I'm going to do something very rare.
Okay.
I'm going to pay Donald Trump a compliment.
I'm excited.
He has been flailing around trying to find a nickname for Kamala Harris, and he's not been able to find one, right? And I was reading an article about how poorly he's done with this. And then it mentioned previous nicknames that he's done. And his nicknames are not very good. But you know what, Maureen? He absolutely knocked it out of the park when he called Ron DeSantis Meatball Ron.
I mean, he did.
I mean, credit where credit's due.
It's a good nickname.
It's a good nickname.
It is
because
good.
It doesn't even relate to anything.
Nope.
And yet it's perfect.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, it stopped, broken clock is right twice a day. Meatball Ron was really good.
Meatball Ron. It's funny in the same way that this amazing person on Twitter that makes fun of J.K. Rowling.
What is the sound?
It's my voice. Yeah.
No, there's like a really weird sound in this hotel room right now. All right. Just gonna go with it.
That's fine. I wouldn't worry about it. I'll tell you if I see anything appear behind you.
Okay.
That they said that the original Harry Potter book was called Giuseppe Stromboli and the Briefcase Full of Meatballs.
Yes.
And Briefcase of Meatballs. And that's just funny.
It is funny.
That's why when we said codename Meatball, put meatball in anything, it's funny. Like
it's
meatballs are funny. Dan, are you?
I mean, do you hear this?
No, I don't hear anything. This just looks like footage from a horror movie of like a guy who's like looking around and there's just he's up. He's off. Where's he going?
It must be like doing some construction work just outside or something. It's very loud. I don't know if that's coming through on the mic, but it's coming through.
I don't hear anything.
The mic into my earphones. Anyway. Meatball Ron.
He is back.
So this was all back to the Twitter thing.
Yes.
So this whole, it's a distributed denial of service attack. The exact same thing happened when he did a space with Ron DeSantis. It crashed immediately. So the thing is, if there has ever been yet another reminder to get off Twitter, it would be the owner of Twitter not only welcoming Donald Trump back, but then hosting a shitty interview with him for like 2 hours. Like, we are past the point
during which he kind of talked like this.
Yeah, he seemed to his dentures seemed to be moving about his mouth in a way that
so here's the thing, Elon. I just want to make work great again. It was weird. I didn't listen to any of it. I only tuned in for a second just to see if it was still down because I thought that would be funny.
Yeah,
and it had gone back up, and so I turned it off.
Yeah,
but
I didn't listen to that at all. I did listen to about 20 minutes of his very sad press conference last week, where his shoulders were so slumpy the whole time. He was a very sad man because he's just not able to get any press right now.
Yeah, he's sad.
He's very sad about it. Kamala Harris now officially leading in most polls, national polls and swing state polls, seems to be leading enough that they are now talking about, can she expand a map, which is interesting. It has been 3 weeks, Maureen. Like, the momentum has not stopped. It has continued to grow. They have made some attempts now on the Republican side to blunt that momentum. They have done a very kind of transparent attempt to swift boat Tim Walz's National Guard service, which is especially funny and transparent because they actually brought the guy that did for those of you that don't remember, John Kerry ran for president. John Kerry was a Vietnam veteran and some Republican operatives put together a attack ad called Swift Boat Veterans for Truth. The Swift Boat was a boat that would ride down rivers in Vietnam. And they basically kind of questioned his service. And ever since then, it's simply been termed swift boating because it was actually extremely effective.
It was the modern rat fucking.
Yes. Now they have decided to swift boat Tim Waltz, who dedicated 24 years to the National Guard, earned his 20, which is retirement age. It was 2001. He decided that he was going to go in for another 4 after September 11th, and then decided that he was going to get out and run for office, which is what he did. And now they are saying that he let his compatriots in the National Guard down because I think about 9 months or 11 months after he put in for his retirement, they were deployed to the Middle East. But it seems to have not really landed for obvious reasons. Mostly being this man seems to be the nicest man on earth, and hard to land that. But they've tried. My favorite is they are also trying to paint him as this like San Francisco style liberal. I think it was JD Vance who called him a San Francisco wannabe. It's like I don't think so. But so far they have not really blunted any momentum, and it's going good because Donald Trump, Maureen, has gotten extremely upset about crowd sizes.
He really has.
Much of that press conference was him complaining about, much of any press conference with Donald Trump for 8 years has been him complaining about not covering crowd sizes, right? So that's nothing new. But now he is complaining about the fact that people are covering her crowd sizes, but aren't covering his crowd sizes, or specifically haven't covered his crowd sizes. In that press conference, he boasted that his crowd size on January 6th was larger than Martin Luther King's during the I Have a Dream speech.
Mm-hmm.
But he's taken a new tactic now, which he has borrowed from Dinesh D'Souza, the not particularly talented Republican misinformation guy, who earlier this weekend questioned whether Kamala Harris's crowd that greeted her plane in Detroit was actually real. And Donald Trump has doubled and tripled down now and has gone on to say that there was nobody there.
Oh, I didn't realize he said that.
Yes. He has said there is nobody there and that the entire crowd was artificial intelligence generated. Which is bonkers because it was carried live on C-SPAN, Maureen.
They can do that, Dan.
There were independent reporters. Like, it is the most... No, really. The sky is purple. Kind of situation. But yeah, that's the latest, is now she is just faking her crowd sizes. And he says that means she's cheating.
I love how much he hates this.
I think
we all do. It's a lot of fun how upset he gets because he's such a weird little man and he's so obsessed with crowd sizes. Yeah. It's so great.
And the Harris campaign, to their credit, knows exactly how to just push that button on him. So they are just going for it. Always going for it. But yeah, it has not been a good run for that man. In addition to everything else, they had to announce that their campaign got hacked. Apparently by Iranian hackers who leaked a bunch of internal campaign material, which has not actually been reported on. You might remember during 2016, there was a hacking of.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, I know. There was a hacking of Hillary's stuff, and that was extensively reported on. Anything that was hacked was out there. In part, I had forgotten that actually WikiLeaks released it first, so there is that. But there has been stuff sent around to pretty much every major news org. It seems that the thing that is most interesting is a 200-page dossier vetting JD Vance before he was decided to be the guy. That one's got to be a lot of fun. But
come on, give it to us.
But the interesting thing, so I was reading about this right before we recorded because I was like, I need to understand how this worked. So the campaign got hacked because a senior advisor separate from the campaign had their email compromised, right? And so that email account was used as sort of an attack vector to then get access to the actual like campaign servers or whatever. And that senior advisor, Maureen, Roger Stone.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that guy somehow was like, oh yeah, sure, here's my password or whatever. They've had a bad run. And you know what? I'm into it.
It's pretty funny. So yes, he is absolutely losing his marbles over crowd sizes.
Yeah.
He's losing, so nobody's paying any attention to him, and he's used to being the center of attention.
Yeah.
Because he's a needy little bitch.
Yes.
And he isn't getting the attention he wants. So he's desperately trying to get attention by going back on Twitter, tanking his own Truth Social stock. Yeah. So breaking his own contract with himself.
I think that contract is no longer, like, he could have gone back because he used to have a contract that said that he had to post on Truth Social first, but there was an expiration date on that. But he held on for a long time. I mean, the thing is, this dude likes the bubble that he's in, right? Like, I don't think that he didn't go back to Twitter in part because he is just so comfy right now in Truth Social, where he is the whole reason anyone is on that thing, right? Like, Twitter, there's a bunch of, far right assholes that are bringing people in, right? But on Truth Social, he's the only guy. So, he was very comfortable there. But yeah, he has gone back on Twitter in the hopes that he can generate some press. He has been called out for having a very, let's say, light campaign schedule, where like last week his only appearance was in Montana, of all places, which you don't need to campaign on if you're a Republican. So now I think they finally did add a date this week in an actual swing state, in the hopes that he can get a big crowd and he can feel his little lizard brain can feel good again. But yeah, not a good run for this man.
I am doing more touring than Donald Trump is.
You, in fact, are doing quite a bit more touring than Donald Trump is. One of the things, I need to pull this up. There's a really nice, like, behind the scenes of the sort of free fall that Trump has been in, that I believe it was from the New York Times. And one of them was at this kind of high dollar fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago on August 2nd, Janice's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So at the August 2nd fundraiser, according to two people with knowledge of what took place, when a donor at the roundtable discussion asked Trump about Democrats trying to paint the Republican ticket as, quote, weird, Mr. Trump replied, "Not about me. They're saying that about JD."
Question, Dan. How many times do you think Trump and JD Vance have met in person?
I mean, I would say under 5. That would be my guess. I think they did one I think they did one event together. I would guess that they appeared. I didn't watch the RNC, but I would guess that they appeared on a stage together at some point. They probably had a meeting before the official announcement. So that's, I would say, yeah, under 5. And ever since then, ever since everything kind of went south on him, Trump has just been at Mar-a-Lago and he's sending Vance out all over the place, despite the fact that nobody likes him and he can't draw a crowd to save his life.
And he's real weird.
And he's super weird. So he's just been crisscrossing the country, drawing in literal dozens of people. And Trump's been just chilling in Mar-a-Lago.
There was a report of him within the week there was a wedding at Mar-a-Lago, which Trump, I guess, was there, and just in the middle of the wedding gave an impromptu half-hour speech about how Kamala Harris's crowd sizes were made up in the middle of a wedding.
I mean, I think that's not all that unheard of. I'm pretty sure that he crashes most weddings that happen at Mar-a-Lago.
It reminds me of the old George Washington song from way back in the beautiful days of the internet, where there's an ending line that said, he once held an opponent's hand in a jar of acid at a party. Like, it just seems like a weird...
Sorry, what?
Washington, 6'20", weighs a fucking ton. The future beware, the present beware. He's coming.
Wait, but did he really, or is that just a
No, it's like just part of the weird lore in the song.
Oh, okay.
You know the George Washington song, right?
No.
He makes love like an eagle falling out of the sky. Killed a sensei in a duel, and he never said why.
You could just be making this up right now.
He'll save children, but not the British children. He'll save children.
Was this like an early draft of Hamilton?
It was a Brad Neely song. It was one of the greatest things that's ever been made.
Okay.
6'20", weighs a fucking ton. Yeah.
All right.
On a horse made of crystal, he patrols the land with his mason ring and trout schnauzers in his perfect hands. Come on.
Nope.
God damn it.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
He once held an opponent's wife's hand in a jar of acid at a party.
I want that to actually be true.
I'm going to send you the video. It's the greatest thing in the world. It is one of my favorite things. But sometimes I just start singing it under my breath.
How did this relate to our previous topic of conversation?
Like, you're having a party. You're having a wedding party. And then Trump stands up. Ex-President Trump stands up and is like, I want to give you a speech about crowd sizes and my thoughts on them for 35 minutes.
I think I might have said this on the Town Watch. But I am okay with finally seeing this man be humiliated. Because we didn't really get that in 2020. He lost. But then it immediately turned into him trying to have a coup. But now it does feel like we've got a bunch of months of this man just
getting
being
spanked,
humiliated. Yeah.
Also, I'm not against anyone having their wedding at Mar-a-Lago, having it ruined by some lunatic who stands up and gives speeches about crowd sizes.
I mean, I would assume if you're booking your wedding at Mar-a-Lago, you are looking forward to that.
You deserve everything you get.
I mean, nobody is putting money into Mar-a-Lago that isn't looking for that man to be there, to be present in one way or another. The thing that I always wonder about the weddings at Mar-a-Lago is, that man is like being creepy with the bride.
Oh, all the women. See, here's the thing. As a woman, you watch the women in the Trump circuit and they all have the same exact look.
Yeah.
They have the same hairstyle.
Yep.
It's the kind of it's long hair, but like with a wave at the bottom. And they have a lot of lashes. And they all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
One might be blonde, one might be brown hair, but they basically look the same.
Yeah.
And he's just lurching and leching and like just grubbing around the buffet and going,
Yeah. It's gross.
And then I believe that the women that go to Mar-a-Lago will be like, pretend to be flattered, and will secretly be disgusted, like completely. Yeah, no, I like that when that happens to them. I like it a lot. I want all of these people to suffer because I believe in suffering.
Okay.
They will learn. Like maybe they can learn and grow from this. You know?
Yeah, that crowd isn't really big on learning and growing.
We can all learn and grow, Dan.
I mean, we can, but I don't think that's really their priority.
Dan, we can always change. Change is the only constant. And I think that, I'd like that for them.
Okay. Well,
I think they can.
all
I have
right.
I have a lot of faith.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
But
So I thought you were doing a bit.
But I have a lot of hope.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
By the way, where's my man Joe Biden right now?
Chilling. He's just living his best life now. He doesn't got to impress anyone.
Oh, it's like senioritis.
Yeah, exactly. Like this man. I mean, the thing that you kind of wish is right before he dropped out, the Supreme Court made it legal for him to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Do what you want, my man.
Yeah.
Make Doritos mandatory. You know what I mean? Like, do stuff.
Install a water slide at the White House.
Fuck, I would have, are you kidding? A lazy river. I'd have that lazy river so fast you wouldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
All dogs get sunglasses.
Sure.
Free ice cream Mondays.
Yeah.
But he is apparently working on a thing that you have to be able to opt out of services with one click without having to like go through 20 hoops with a company. They can't hide. I was like, okay, it's not the biggest thing we need, but I don't hate that. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like make it easy to cancel subscription.
He does seem like he's working through sort of an old man's list of things that annoy him and just checking off those boxes. Like now you can get reimbursed if like a plane is canceled or super delayed. Now you got to get cash back. Like he's just kind of like, all right. Like maybe his next thing is like always double coupons at Home Depot or something. Like who knows?
All right. I thought I was onto something with make Doritos mandatory, but I just, I
don't hate that.
It's not bad.
I'd comply with that law.
All dogs get sunglasses? Come on.
That's a fun one.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'd have a lot of fun.
Yeah, my dog wouldn't be that into it. Speaking of which, where is she? Oh, she's still there. Oh.
I'd blow something up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'd be like that. The happiest person I ever met was a guy who has a PhD in fire. Basically, he does he does fire forensics. So if something burns down, he's one of the people that recreates the conditions of the fire.
Oh, okay.
And figures out what happened.
All right.
It's an amazing job. He's gotten people cleared of murder that like they thought they murdered their spouse or whatever. And he found out that it was just a freak murder or a freak fire in the house that dropped stuff on. Like he does amazing stuff.
Okay.
But as part of his training, he used to get to go out in the desert and blow up a house.
Wow.
On the regular to watch it burn and create computer models of the burning.
Yeah.
Happiest guy I ever met.
I bet.
He's like, I get to go out to the desert and blow things up about once a month.
That's pretty great.
Come on. What would you blow up? You get to blow up something.
So I think it would be pretty cool if you were to put put some explosives inside like a semi and then fill in around it inside the semi like a bunch of like paint cans or something, right? So then you explode it and then so you get the semi exploding, but then you get the paint cans. Like that would be pretty fun.
I've changed I don't know if I want to blow something out. I don't know what it is yet, but I just thought of something else I would like to do.
Okay.
It's inspired by something I saw when I went out with my sister-in-law to put up flowers she's a florist.
Okay.
And she was she was designing flowers for a wedding in the
Uh-huh.
woods. It was a Hobbit themed wedding in the woods.
Wow. Okay.
It was great. But we had to go all higgledy-piggledy roads to get there.
So
And we
if
had
you do a Hobbit-themed wedding, do you make all the guests wear like stilts so that the people that are getting married feel like the hobbits?
I don't know. I would make them wear really big feet.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was like, obviously you're doing second breakfast, right? Right? I don't know. I was just there with the flowers. But in order to get there, we took all these higgledy-piggledy roads, including a little tiny bridge over a
Okay.
little river, a little stream. And you had to stop and pay a toll of 5p to go over the bridge.
Wow.
That's
To an actual troll?
to a person who
Oh.
stood there collecting 5p. That's about 7 cents.
Yeah.
And nobody in England has any money. Like
Right.
everything is cashless. So all these cars are slowing down. You see everybody like, shit. Like these people haven't seen coins in years. And they have to pay 5p to get across this bridge. And we scrabbled around and we found like a coin in the car because, but then he, give your change for your 5p. Like if you gave 10, he'd give you a 5p back. That is the most low stakes goddamn bridge I've ever. And there was someone apparently in there all the time collecting 5p coins.
How traveled is this road?
There was a lot. There were a lot of cars waiting to go across this and pay
they're making
5.
money.
They're 7 cents at a time. I would say they're probably making like at least $10 a day.
Well,
maybe like 7
that's
pounds
something.
a day, maybe.
right.
But I'm like, this is some low stake shit. There's like no way you could even justify the cost of having somebody stand in that booth. But they did it. And I want to see more things like that. I would put up a whole bunch of 7-cent tolls.
Okay.
Just around.
So we somehow went from what would you blow up?
Right.
To I want to install 7-cent tolls all over the place.
But here's where I would put them.
So what you would want to blow up is society.
No, because I would only put them inside of like Republican enclaves, like that are golf communities.
No, the villages.
Yeah, like places like that. Like basically to get anywhere.
Yeah.
They would move every day. Like you would just kind of roll up, like it would be a little cabana on wheels.
Okay.
Like on the back of a truck, and you just roll it up. And so you never know where the 7-cent toll would show up. And there would be a bunch of them. So basically always to get somewhere, there's a constant, you never know where they're going to be, but it's a bunch of 7-cent toll booths. By the way,
I know in my heart that you are just making this all up right now, but this really feels like you've put some thought into this.
7 cents, exact change only.
Yeah.
And they don't give change.
Back in the day, Maureen Johnson, on the Illinois toll road, there were toll booths. Then you would give a person money, or you would throw your money into the little basket, but there was a person there, right? But there were also there were entrances and exits onto the highway that were unmanned tolls. And you had to put coins into the little throw-in basket for a little arm to raise in order to get on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember a number of times. One of them was where it must have been an entrance off one of the kind of far-flung suburbs that had like all ages matinee punk shows, right? Or something. Because this happened multiple times where you would pull up and suddenly realize we don't have coins, right? And so then you would just have to kind of pull over to the side of the road and spare change on cars as they drove up until you had enough to then go through.
What do you mean by spare change on cars? Like beg for cars?
Yeah, you would walk up and be like, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. Can you, we don't have any coins. Do you have a dime or whatever? And oftentimes what would happen, a car would just be like, just follow really close behind me. And so they would pay, and then you would kind of creep behind them as you would go under. But yeah, in retrospect, it was a very inconvenient system.
Another thing I would do with my 7-cent rolling tolls in these golf communities is I would at least once a month, I would do a double. So
Okay.
you would go through one, you'd pay your 7 cents, the arm would go up, but then there would be one about 8 feet beyond that.
Yeah.
So even as the arm goes up, you're stuck, going into the next one.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find 7 more cents.
Mm-hmm.
But except this one isn't 7 cents, Dan.
Yeah.
It's 8 cents.
I mean, the one fatal flaw in this plan
Right.
is that you are targeting by doing this in a golf cart retirement community.
Uh-huh.
You are probably targeting the sole population in this country that readily has 7 cents available.
The second toll is cashless, but it's 8 cents.
See that one? There you go. They have to Venmo it. You're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
You have to Venmo 8 cents.
Yeah.
You can Apple Pay the 8 cents, but only the second one. The first one is cash.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you would be sitting there with your mouth agape as people just wing their 7 cents in and just drive right by.
All money goes to the library
for that moment.
No, all money goes to the library.
Okay.
And if you think they can get around this with the golf carts, don't worry about that.
Okay.
We've got another
really
one.
Worried about that
because I'm going to put a few out on the golf course.
Okay.
Now this is harder, but I'm going to do it in the form of huge nets.
Okay.
That are strung across.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get across that, 19 cents.
It's really getting expensive now.
PayPal only.
Well, on that note,
Dan, I'm just saying, like, I feel like these kind of low stake shit is incredibly enjoyable.
Okay.
And it's something I'd like to see more of. And this is the kind of thing I would be doing if I were him right now. I would have a slip and slide.
Yeah. Okay.
I would 100, or like one of those little tiny railroads that's just like, it's not a full railroad. It's basically you can just sit on a little thing and it goes choo choo. And
it goes like in what was Silver Spoons? Yeah, the 1980s sitcom.
You could sit astride it, so it's just a little thing that goes around on a track.
He should install a slip and slide at the entrance to the White House, and then require the only way in
slip and slide
is to slip and slide in.
I would definitely have some sort of sushi conveyor belt situation going on at all times.
Yep.
With snacks and stuff.
Sure.
Whenever like dignitaries came in through the slip and slide, I'd be like, "Do you want a snack?" And then just this, but it's all Doritos because they're mandatory,
right,
and but they're different flavors going by.
I'd be into that.
In China, like little beautiful China bowls. Yeah. But you could have as many little bowls as you want.
It's true.
And you could eat a lot that way and not really realize how many you've eaten.
Oh, definitely.
And if you want to leave the Oval Office, 7 cents.
Says Who is made possible by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com.
And then I'd be like,
/SaysWho.
Do you want to see a slideshow of sharks? And then I would make people look at my slides of sharks.
Where pretty much every Sunday you get this all over again. Who wouldn't want this if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level? At $10 a month level also gets you a sticker in the mail every month because you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. That's at patreon.com/SaysWho. Our theme music is performed by Ted Leo.
It would be time for other people to get into my interests. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's Maureen time. It's President Maureen time.
Yeah, I get it. Our theme music is performed
These are my
by Ted
bins.
Leo, who is
These
out
are all.
on the road right
I'd
now.
have Dan, here's what I would do. I'd get a big bin.
Okay.
Attach wheels to it.
Yeah.
Get Secret Service to drag me around.
Bin car.
Yeah, and I'd have I would make it just a little wrap on it to make it look like a little car.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right, come on. And I would say, giddy up. Or choo choo. And then I would make them like, that's how I would get around.
I think Joe Biden would like the choo choo part a lot. He'd wear a little conductor.
Little conductor's hat, like the puffy one.
The little stripy overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those floors are waxed and nice and smooth.
It's true.
I'd be like, push me, like, oh, and then
Our logo was designed by Darth. You can contact us
down.
at Says Who Podcast on Threads, at SaysWho at omfg.town on Mastodon, or you can email it, hey, that's HEY at SaysWhopodcast.com. You can join the discussion on Facebook at /groups/SaysWhovians. Our Facebook group is moderated by Janice Dillard. If you want to join the fan-run Discord server, you can go to tinyurl.com/SaysWhoDiscord.
Footy pajama day. I'd have footy pajama day.
Yeah, that's a good day.
They'd have to throw me a surprise birthday party once a week.
Of course. Anyway, spread the word, subscribe, leave stars.
Sunday bar.
Oh, yeah, sure. Stars and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever it is that you can listen. And here's the thing, SaysWhovians. You're sitting here waiting for me to say, join us next week for our very next episode. But here's the thing. Guess what? We're going away for 2 weeks. Do you remember what happened when we went away for 1 week? Someone tried to kill Donald Trump. Joe Biden got COVID. J.D. Vance was announced. And then Joe Biden dropped out. That was 1 week that we were away. We're gone for 2. So fucking strap in, motherfuckers, because who knows what's happening now. We won't, because we won't be here. You will see us again in quite some time. You will see us September 3rd.
Jesus.
September 4th. We will be recording on September 3rd.
Well, that means, Dan, I need to read the most important story that's happened this week. It's related to everything I've just said. I just want to read it to you from the New York Post.
Okay. I like that here, now that I've finished concluding the entire thing, Maureen's like, okay, well, let's talk about the news.
The Museum of Ice Cream's TikTok trendy sprinkle pool, which is just a big ditch in the floor full of sprinkles.
Yeah.
One visitor was left maimed after he went for a splash, she claims in a lawsuit. The pools, again, I just want to point out, this is a ditch on the floor, just full of sprinkles.
Yeah.
Left Jeremy Shore, who visited the Soho attraction with his daughter last March, with an ankle fracture.
Oh.
So serious that it required surgery. The biggest issue might be how the museum presents the pool on social media, where multiple posts encourage visitors to jump in and plunge.
Okay.
So what this is a big pool of sprinkles.
Yeah.
That you can jump in off of a mini diving board.
Okay.
And land in a giant pool of sprinkles and hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm having that in the White House. Second of all, gross. I mean, it's fine if it's just your private sprinkle pool.
Yeah.
But who's getting in the sprinkle pool?
Tourists.
Ew.
They'll
Like,
do anything.
Ugh. Yuck.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, speaking of, come on, you'll see us September 4th. Nothing's going to happen between now and then.
I'll have done my tours.
You will be done with both.
So I will have been to 3 American cities, 4 UK cities. I will be home and asleep for a couple days.
Yep.
I'm sure it will be quiet. But don't worry, there's going to be September's juicy. You guys will be covering the debate.
Yeah. There might actually be a debate that night. That was one of the dates that Trump floated. But September 4th will also be one day after Rebel Spirit comes out. So that'll be fun. We can chat about that. Anyway, we'll have lots to talk about, except not the news, because nothing's really going to happen between now and then. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine, you guys.
Nothing ever happens when we're away.
Nothing ever happens when we're away. Everything goes quiet. It all goes gray. Everyone takes a nap. They know that Dan and Maureen are away. So everyone be quiet. Everyone be still. Just wait till they get back in September still, because nothing happens when Dan and Maureen are away. Everyone goes quiet when they go out to play. The news takes a break so that they can go to a lake. So everything goes quiet when Dan and Maureen are away.
From
You
this
look
hotel in Longmont,
horrified.
Colorado, I am Dan Sinker.
Can I see Spotty?
Can't really see her well, but
She
that
under the
white
blanket?
lump right there is her.
Is she under the blanket?
Oh, no, that's the blanket, actually. There. Do you see her? There. That little brown bit is her ear.
Oh, good girl, Spotty.
She's just snoozing.
I love it. This has been 7 cents.
And also says who?
Shork.
That was a callback.
Yeah, I know. We're good at
That feels like 100 years ago when you were doing Shork. Here's
Shork.
this episode.
Yeah.